So, $1 million schedule. Right? I'm not going to be able to get to this point unless I master time.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
So, ideally, and this is kind of what's suggested by a couple different coaches, certain things. Mine's kind of close. Their recommendation a lot of times, this is Bill as a coach, 4:30 to 6. What do you think that is? Rise and shine. For me, I'm up at 5 usually. Doing my stack between 5 and 5:30. I've had to do that in that scenario to be able to fit the stack in. And I leave my house at 5:50, right, in that scenario. But 4:36 to rise and shine. 6 to 7. 6 to 7. Morning routine. What does that mean, you think?
Say get dressed.
Not yet. What's the most important thing that I have that I need to protect and work on? Mindset. This could be physicality, right? This is hard to sleep. That's my morning routine, right? Let's be great. And I'll talk about things that you can do in that scenario. I'll break it down for you. These are things like listening to audio, reading 10 pages of a book, things like that. Because what am I doing? I must find a way to feed my mind. What am I doing there? I'm preparing for war. One of the quotes is, I'd rather you guys, sweat in training than bleed in battle. That makes sense, right? It's the saying in the military all the time, right? Whether you guys sweat in training and bleed in battle. Here, I'm doing what? Get my mindset. Now, if somebody gets up, like I do, get up, stack. I go to the gym and also listen to the positive stuff, both YouTube and podcasts. Every once in a while I read some stuff. I've been doing this a lot of, courses or audio. But I'm doing all that, go to the gym. Yesterday watched sunrise, and I come here, right? Am I in power most cases? Yeah, versus the person who rolls out at 8:30 and rushes to the huddle and shows up at 9:01, right? Which ones have more power throughout the day? The person that got up and did the work and protected their mind, right? That's going to be the ability to what? I'm putting money, or I'm putting mental money, so to speak, in what? My ATM that I can do what that day? Withdraw it. So as shit happens, as bad things happen, as deal goes sideways, as whatever it is happens, I have something to withdraw from my mental ATM. That makes sense? This is how I get up in the morning. I make my deposit into that mental ATM I have, knowing that at some point throughout that day, I'm going to have to come back and be able to withdraw from that again more. Does that make sense, you guys there? 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Guess what that is? Yep, get ready, breakfast. Obviously, you can find ways to optimize that. Me, for example, I just use green smoothie, right? I can make it in 2 seconds. And either drink it there or bring it with me, either one in that scenario, and that piece, right? 8 o'clock, and obviously it depends what your drive time is and like that. This is just an easy schedule, but I want to give you guys something to do from that. 8 to 8:30 is prep time, right, for the day. Prep time, 8 to 8:30. Some call it a jam session, where basically you're just kind of preparation for the day. What's happened, you're organizing those things, making sure everything's in play. For that, 8:30 to 9. It's important. This is a key one that we're missing. Some guys are in here crushing it, but what do you think 8:30 to 9 is?
Role play.
Yep. Role play. And what? Scripts. Yeah, I've had some shit. I wrote it myself. And then I didn't do it for a while, and I can't remember what it was. You know what I mean? So it's just important that that's how the mind works, and it has to be done with what? Every day with consistency, right? Which is why it's important to be done in where? Schedule. And the reason I'm sharing this is to give you a break. This is simple shit, right? This stuff that is super simple. Why am I teaching you, think? Most people ain't doing it, right? That's why. And so my job is to help. How can I simplify this for you to break it down to other pieces? So 9 to 10 o'clock, we can say 9:10 to 10:10, however you want to look at it, right? Well, for us, we'll do it 9:10 to 10:10. So we know obviously 9 o'clock's the huddle, right? 9:10 to 10:10, what do you think that is? Power hour. Number 1. So now power, why do I call it power hour? Because that's the hour I'm in power. I just did everything to prepare for that, either work out, my mental piece, right? I fed my mental ATM. I got ready, right? Can you see how this stacks on top of each other? You with me on this? So I obviously got up early. I did my morning routine. I put myself in power mentally, which I'm going to teach you guys what that is in a few minutes. A simple way to do it. Kind of like Core 4, but a little simpler for you guys to do. Obviously, I get ready, my breakfast, whatever it is, drive to work. That's plenty of time for that, right? I have my preparation for the day, my jam session, get music going, whatever it is. That's there. 8:39, do some role-playing scripts. Simple, 30 minutes a day, right? How many are you guys doing, an hour or 30 minutes? Are you guys doing an hour or 30 minutes? 30 minutes, right? Perfect. So, and then obviously yours is earlier. I'm just trying to get something that's sustainable for everybody. And then I come in, I've done all this. What do you think the chances are that my power hour is better than normal if I do all this beforehand? High, right? Because I'm just hacking my brain to create momentum for myself so that I stack it up. So when I hit this, right, I have less what when I make my first hour? Resistance. Why is that? Because it's hard to get up early. It takes discipline to get up early, right? It takes discipline to not hit the snooze button and get out. It takes discipline to get up, right, do my morning routine over and over and over. And then obviously it takes discipline to make sure I'm getting my jam session in, making sure I'm doing my role play session. And then obviously I have role play hour. Then I want to look at my numbers. I want to adjust. So this would be the reason I want you guys to look at this is that I'm not doing what? I'm not making mindless, numb calls. I'm not just loading some shit in a dial or calling. I need you guys to make intelligent decisions when you're making your dials here. And so then I look at my numbers. I review really quick what's going on. I look at who I need to call next, or I can look at my bucket. With me on this. People are already in my bucket. Past clients, whatever you want to do. And I set up for my second hour, which is what? 10:10 to 11:10, which is what? Power hour number 2. Here, which is super important for me to make sure I'm doing there. You guys with me on that? And then here, I should have my dials at least at 100. Maybe more, if I'm done it right. Now, what else happens in the power hour? Nothing. I don't check the emails. I don't respond to you. I can check them, but I don't respond to them. I don't react to them. Is that going to be hard to do for most people? Right? Most people get sucked back into whatever bullshit they see in their email. An offer this, home inspection this, client. I do not let myself get off track of what the red is right here. And so that's the important part is no matter what happens, no matter who calls me, what I have to do. I protect my time. I say F you to anything and everything else that comes to me. Why? Because I have to make sure I'm hedging against the freedom I have here. And if you watch people on the list that aren't making 600 to 700 to 800 calls a week, which is a decent amount of people, right? So that's why I'm trying to go back and review this and make it simple for you guys to do. And that's the area. Then, at that point, from 11:10 to 12:10, then I can fulfill any commitments and follow-up that needs to be handled. So that would be what? Like specific responses to people. Anything else that needs to come through that scenario?
Just call, text, and stuff.
Yes.
And calling people, texting them back.
Yep. Now, if I do have a missed call and text from one of my leads, I can call them back in this time period. You with me on that? So let's say I make an outbound call to my bucket, leave voicemail, they call me back. I can answer that call. Does that make sense, you guys? That's still new business, right? But if it's an agent calling about some bullshit offer or a listing or whatever it is, when do I call them back? After this time here, right? And so I would even push that to afternoon stuff. Now, if this is done right and done consistently, what happens to your afternoon? It's going to be filled up with what? Appointments and showings.
Closings.
Yes.
Walkthroughs.
And so this is important. So when I have this in my calendar and it's automatic, and then an attorney tries to schedule me a closing at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m., what do I do? That's not going to ever work. I'm not going to be able to do that because my calendar is already full of something else. And they say, well, that's the only time we can do it. And you say, what?
We'll take our business.
We're going to take my business somewhere else if you don't make that happen. Just so you know, Mr. and Mrs. Attorney, I'm your client. I'm the one bringing you the deals here. So if you want to, I can take another attorney who's more accommodating, who gets what we need to get done. What would you like me to do? And that's not, to paralegal, they don't give a shit. They're hourly, right? But if you get to the attorney who has numbers they need to hit, they're going to accommodate you however you need to be accommodated. You with me on this? That takes time that you have to do what? Fight to defend your calendar here. Most people are just living, just going bumper to bumper in the pinball machine of life, right? You're just getting pinged around based on what happens to you because you have no structure and you have nothing that you live by that you defend daily on this. Are you with me on this? Which is super important. Some of this is a reminder, but like some of you need to go back and rework your calendar, your schedule, say, all right, how do I do this? Why is this super important to do all this on the front end? Because you have the most mental stamina in the morning. You have the most ability to defend what needs to be done in the morning. Right? If I make my calls in the afternoon, which is still doable and still great, those are just extra icing on top versus what we already have. Are you with me on this? Questions about this? My goal here is for one simple thing, is that I have the ability to own the morning. Now, there's going to be some hacks and stuff around this, which is super important. What do I have to do to own the morning?
Go to bed early.
I have to own the night before. Let's talk about this. Number one reason people can't wake up in the morning is because they don't have a bedtime set. They're too busy watching Netflix or being reactionary to do shit that doesn't really do what? Bring value and bring in money. Okay? Like I have a dead stop time no matter what. I got to be asleep by 10 o'clock. I got to be in bed by 9 usually. It's a little hard with the baby because we got to do. He has a nap schedule, so if he wakes up at 6, we got to put him down at 9. So it's a little bit kind of wonky. But no matter what, I'll miss bath time, whatever. I got to be asleep by 10. Why? I got to be up at 5 next morning, right? I can function on 7 to 8 hours at this point where I'm at. Okay, because I need it to be healthy, and I track that shit right on my arm and see where it is, right? And it'll tell you what's your average bedtime, all that stuff. But you have to have a bedtime what? Routine.